first, just, and I hate to do this because we kind of already got the answer, but you stayed out there quite late today at practice. I don't know if that had to do with anything specific, but what did you see out of Mike Smith? And just in terms of, are we closing in on a potential return?
Yeah, he continues to progress. He had another good day today, and then we'll see where he gets tomorrow, whether he comes on the trip or not. And if he feels good, hopefully it keeps moving in the right direction. But he's had 2 good days, which is good to see.
When you see Fogle, now get some goals lately,
Yeah.
is something different for him, or is that just more evidence of you got to be patient and the ebbs and flows of how it can go for a guy
Well,
in a
he
new team?
got one on the power play last game, headed one in last game, which is a good sign that he's going to the net. And he's had lots of, a lot of the stuff we chart. He's around it a lot, but he's had a few go in for him. In the power play, one bounces out to him, he gets an open netter, and got a empty netter the game before. So stats look better, better in that sense. But if you look at it, just his play is similar to what he's doing. They're just getting rewarded for it a little bit.
Does his style, he's had to move around a little bit, especially with the injuries. Does his style suit to playing with almost any center, or how do you look at that?
Yeah, he just got a work ethic, a relentless to him that it brings an energy to a line wherever he is, So he's gone up and down a little bit. That's what he did in Carolina a little bit, and it's no different here.
Will he practice tomorrow?
I'm hoping. He had to get the test done today, and then if everything goes well today, then he can practice tomorrow. Not tomorrow, no. I think he's another day. Him and Nurse and Laggy are one more day, I think.
So they'll have to fly there on their own?
I think so, yeah. I don't know if they'd be available for the 29th. It'd be the 31st, I think. I believe.
You've had a chance to watch Sam Marukov for a couple of days. What have you noticed from him?
Him and Broberg are both kind of similar. You can tell they're trying to find their way out there a little bit. Both big guys, lots of raw talent, but raw is the thing. We won't know with Sam Marukov, we won't know until we get him in a game, see how he reacts. But Broberg was, he was up and down just like what you'd expect from a young defenseman, that trying to learn the game, and it's hard for young defensemen, really hard. And we put Broberg in some tough situations. He reacted fairly well, and if Sam Marukov gets in there, we'll see where he can get to. He played a lot of minutes once all the defensemen got up here, down there in Bakersfield. He's playing a lot of minutes, so hopefully that helps him get up here, and he'll just jump in and take off, and we'll see where he's at.
So do you anticipate him playing if
We'll see where Keith is tomorrow.
Okay. But he would be kind of the odd man out, would you say, or?
We'll see where it goes.
You said raw, but Sam Rukov, he's had so much time off here, and he's just kind of getting back into the swing of things. Is there something that you're noticing that he can kind of tweak in his game, or that has really stood out?
What he needs in his game right now is experience. He's trained hard. He's practiced hard. He's gone through injuries. He needs experience. He needs to play is what he needs to do. And last year he was going pretty good in the KHL, got hurt, and the early reports over there, he was doing a real nice job early on. Got hurt, come down here, looked like he was ready to go and have a great camp, got hurt. So now he's gone back down. He needs to play. He needs experience, and that's just going to take some time with him.
So Broberg was raw, but he's actually played 10 games.
Yeah.
Sam Murakov's really raw because he's
raw and rawer.
More raw.
Yeah.
Just a quick thought on Hyman. Looks like, 2 days in a row, looks like he's good to go here. What is getting him back and just how, we all can see pretty much how important of an addition he's been to the club.
Yeah, he just, I've said it before, he touches so many parts of the game that from a coaching standpoint, you're looking down, you need a job done, whether it's PP, PK, shut down, end of the game, plays with top players. He's pretty much touches all aspects of the game. So, and his work ethic and just attitude is infectious out there. He brings energy, which is, he's fit in well with our team, continues to.
Dave, you're always looking to utilize something out of a tough situation. Did you take anything from the couple games you missed that you might have missed or seen from a different angle had you been coaching as per regular?
You always look at it. I did a real deep dive into a lot of stuff where we are, a lot of stuff on our 5-on-5 game, not just the games I missed, but going back for 10 games and that. And in actual fact, if you look at our last 10 games, all I call them the fancy stats or whatever, but that was our best 10-game segment of 5-on-5 of the season, yet we came out losing 6 of them or whatever, you know, so.
That's using your stuff.
No, a lot of sport logic stuff, a lot of a combination of everything. We usually do a 10-game segment, big, from the fancy guys and my stuff, and we did it instead of 30 games, we did it 29 to the break. So went back 10 games. There was a lot of positives of how we were playing. Now that being said, our special teams took a big dip, and our save percentage took a big dip in those 10 games that we ended up on the wrong side of it too many times. So there's things that you look at there that are positives that we have to keep in place, and then special teams have to start pulling back up. Goaltending could be a little more stable in there, you know, not that it was bad, but just there's some times when it could be a little better, you know, so.
Normally you'd be up behind the bench and you say, oh, I got to watch the game again. But you're at home, you're watching the game. Do you have to still watch it again, or are you making notes as the game's going
No, I watch it and then I'll go through it again, just like I would. It was no different than, I did the pre-scouts for the games that Brian Wiseman presented, and then after the game I did my same analysis, which I get the game after, but it's all broken down. Like I watched it with, like you watch it, but then after I get it where I can watch every forecheck, every neutral zone forecheck, every chance for, every chance against. So I'll chart all my stuff after I watch it.
in the fridge and maybe get a beer while you're watching it?
I didn't realize how long those commercials took. That way. Now I'm understanding on that bench, it seems like a long time. It is a long time between there.
Just going back to the advanced stats there, I'm just curious if when you're a coach, do you look at it as kind of, and you're not getting the wins when you're seeing that there's a lot of positivity, are you kind of thinking there's better days ahead, or are you trying to figure out what the heck's going on that's wrong that you can tweak?
You're always trying to figure out how it fits in going forward, right? So you're always trying to fix problems immediate that are coming up against you, but if you look at those 10 games with a lot of different factors, like you got to look at it as some of our chances against, and you go through it, and you look at our decor was the same decor that was playing in the American League the week before, you know, so you're going through some games like that. You got to keep everything in perspective, but there's certain things that we're looking to improve on, especially 5-on-5, that some of those metrics were pointing in the right direction. So you're saying, okay, you know, our special teams got to get back going. Wouldn't help if we didn't give up the first goal every game. I mean, some things like that you look at and say, okay, there's reasons for optimism if we can get this going the right way.
How far away is Chris Russell? He's on, it's like, is he 2 weeks away, or is he?
No, he skated here in the morning before practice here. He skated, but he's probably another week or so, I would say, for sure.
Seattle, in terms of a building block of that game, on paper, it looked like you did a lot of good things. When you reviewed it, is it as good as it looked? And is it something to build from there?
It looked like we played with a ton of energy, just all the stuff that was swirling around that day, and Jesse, and just lots of insecurity about what's going on. It was one of those games we talk about as coaches, is we were probably glad we were on the road, because you come together, you're on the road, and let's play, you know, because they had a bunch of stuff going on too, and they had Susie test right after the game. They didn't test before the game, and then they tested right after the game, and lots of stuff going on with their team too. So it was, our guys went out and they played hard. They played simple and hard, and especially after we give up that early goal there, we hung in there. So it was good to see. There was lots of energy there, and guys were happy. And then right after the game, it turned to concern again about getting Jesse home.
Right.
You know, so worked out all right.
Benson changing the way there's some belligerence there that was never there when he was scoring.
Yeah, you know what, it tells me that
He played pretty good in Seattle.
it tells me, well, he got more opportunity because there was, you know, we only had 11 forwards, and 2 had just come from the American League, so we got 16 minutes, I think, was the high for him. But that being said, you hit the nail on the head. I give him credit because he wants to be an NHL player, and he's going to do whatever it takes to become an NHL player, and there is a little bit of that belligerence in him, and make sure he's finishing checks, things like that. It's no different than, I think we talked about it a while ago, Jimmy, where players come up and they're great offensive players, but then sometimes they play in the NHL, offense isn't their number one thing. It's finding a role. And he's working hard to find a role. I give him a ton of credit. He's working hard to try to give himself the best chance to be an NHL player.